Imagine standing on the hills of Jerusalem, watching the golden city bathed in morning light as dawn breaks over the horizon. The land, so ancient and sacred, has been called the apple of God's eye. But what is it that makes Israel more than just a place on the map? Why does this small nation, so often at the center of world events, hold the secrets to understanding the end times? Today, let's dive into the biblical mysteries and see why Israel plays such a key role in God's final plan for the world. In Genesis, God made a powerful promise to Abraham, vowing that his descendants would be as countless as the stars in the sky, Genesis 15 verse 5. This wasn't just about a family or even a single nation, it was about a legacy, a story that would one day change the world. Through Abraham's line, God would reveal his love, his justice, and his plan to redeem humanity. Israel was chosen for a purpose, to be a light to the nations, and through its story, God's covenant with all humanity would unfold. Bible scholars often call Israel God's prophetic timepiece. It's through Israel's history and future that God marks the timeline leading up to the end of days. In Matthew 24 verse 32, Jesus gives the parable of the fig tree, symbolizing Israel's rebirth as a nation. When the fig tree blossoms, it's a sign that his return is near. When Israel was re-established in 1948, the world was stunned, and it marked the beginning of a new era in prophecy. It's like watching a clock, where each event involving Israel draws us one step closer to the unfolding of God's final plan. Jerusalem, this one city has held the focus of God's story for thousands of years. In Zechariah 12 verse 3, God says, "On that day, when all the nations of the earth are gathered against her, I will make Jerusalem an immovable rock for all the nations." Even today, Jerusalem remains a center of attention, a place of tension and reverence. The Bible tells us that, in the end times, all nations will turn their gaze toward Jerusalem. This city, so small in size, becomes the main stage where God's ultimate victory will unfold. Imagine the impact. The Bible also foretold the scattering and eventual regathering of the Jewish people. God says in Ezekiel 36 verse 24, "For I will take you from among the nations, gather you out of all countries, and bring you into your own land." This regathering is happening right now, in our time, as Jewish people return to Israel from around the globe. It's one of the clearest signs of God's hand at work, a reminder that his promises are never forgotten, and his plans are advancing right in front of us. Revelation describes a climactic prophecy of a great battle, the Battle of Armageddon. This final showdown takes place in Israel, in the Valley of Megiddo. Here, God will confront the forces of darkness and bring an end to all evil. Revelation 16 verse 16 says, "Then they gathered the kings together to the place that in Hebrew is called Armageddon." This very land, Israel, will become the stage where the fate of the world is decided, where God's justice will reign once and for all. The Bible foretells that Jesus will return to Israel. In Zechariah 14 verse 4, it says that his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem. This return is the ultimate fulfillment of his promise to come again. Israel's existence and Jerusalem's place in prophecy are no coincidence, they're part of God's divine plan, with Jesus himself returning to reign from this sacred place. When he returns, he will bring peace, justice, and healing to all nations, transforming Israel into the beacon of God's eternal kingdom. Finally, in Revelation 21 verse 2, we read of a New Jerusalem descending from heaven. This isn't just about a city, it symbolizes God's restored relationship with humanity, where he will live with his people forever. The story of Israel reaches its ultimate culmination here, in a place of eternal light, peace, and unity where every tear is wiped away. Revelation 21 verse 4. The Bible reveals that God has a grand, eternal plan, and Israel stands at the heart of it. The promises God made thousands of years ago are coming to life today, urging us to understand, to watch, and to be ready. Open your heart to the Bible's message and seek a deeper understanding of what's coming. Let this journey of discovery move you, and invite others to join, as we witness the unfolding of God's promises. Israel is more than a nation, it's the heartbeat of prophecy, the key to grasping God's ultimate design for the world. Through each fulfilled prophecy, we're reminded that God is faithful, His promises are true, and His return